what? When you sign on YouTube. So we're on now. Good morning, everybody on YouTube.
Good
Business
morning,
Express.
How you guys doing? It's a Tuesday today. Are you at work? Because we're at work.
There was traffic yesterday on Zumba. Can you imagine? Why?
People are still shopping now.
Shopping for what? Time has passed. It's over. It's all over.
Or download the ARM Stock Trade app on your mobile app store.
You're listening to the Smooth Breakfast right here on Smooth 98.1.
With critical focus on the Nigerian economy,
We see the bigger picture.
Business Express on Smooth 98.1.
Business Express on Smooth 98.1. Brought to you by ARM. Local and global market opportunities safely at your fingertips.
Good morning, ladies. Welcome to the Smooth Style on Lex Radio. We're Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. It's time for Business Express 981 for Tuesday. Still a holiday. But yes, Rotus is here to take us through those conversations that's or related to business. So if you're out there and you want to be a part of our conversation, please jump in and send your messages to 0809-444-0981. Good morning, Rotus.
Hey, good morning, Kayode. Good to be with you. Good morning to all our listeners as we continue to tick away from 2021. Today being Tuesday, we're talking trade. Interesting article here in the Guardian. Talking about Nigeria's trade deficits with China. It continues to get bigger and bigger. Apparently in the last 4 years, well, it's going back to 2018 up until September of this year, Nigeria has imported 19 trillion naira worth of goods from China. Meanwhile, in the opposite direction, we've only exported about 2 trillion naira worth of goods to China. And that leaves a trade deficit of about 17 trillion naira. China has continued to expand its influence over the African region, providing loans, providing assistance where African nations have needed them. And its export dominance has, especially in manufactured goods, made in China, right? Has continued to allow it to dominate the African continent. And if you look at what we've been exporting to them, it's mostly like oil, really. We haven't really been exporting goods that manufactured goods that they can use. And so it just nothing's changed, you know. The import bill, in fact, over the last decade, it just continues to increase and increase. And I can't blame China. Who can blame them? A country is supposed to seek out its competitive advantage where it has an advantage and maximize it to the core. China's trade balance with Africa has been increasing. Its trade balance with Europe and America slightly decreasing a bit. So you can see how its influence is expanding here. But a 17 trillion naira trade deficit, that is just...
That's a huge one. It's a lot.
A lot. And, you know, the question now is how can you improve that? You can improve it by improving on your manufacturing base and improving your infrastructure. But I don't know, it just doesn't seem like we've made any headway.
Isn't that why we're taking loans? We're taking loans for, I mean, China's giving us loans for these infrastructures to improve on our trade still. You see what I mean?
Yeah, but the thing is, even our trade with Africa is not even moving that much. The African Continental Free Trade Area came into effect this year, but trade within Africa, especially Nigeria's exports to the rest of the African continent, the needle hasn't really moved that much. Now, you can blame the COVID pandemic, and you can say that has delayed matters as far as trade within the African nations. But There's a guy called Wamkele Mena, which every time I say his name, I feel like singing because it sounds like
South African.
Yeah, he's the I think he's the Secretary General to the African Free Trade Area Secretariat, and he said that look, before you can kick this thing off, before the African Continental Free Trade Area can be effective, you have to improve your infrastructure. Because a lot of African nations are struggling with that. But the thing is, you can't wait till everybody has proper infrastructure before you say you want to do proper trade within the African continent. You can't wait. You have to start it now and hope that things improve over time. But I guess maybe we can lay the blame on COVID because COVID delayed the kickoff of the AfCFTA, I think by a year or so. But I mean, as far as infrastructure, South Africa remains the, country with the most advanced infrastructure. And so, I mean, South Africa exports wine. You know what I'm saying? They export wine. Kenya exports flowers. You've got countries with a very diverse range of goods that they export. So, Nigeria could be exporting strawberries. We just have to improve. Well, cargo airports. You need more cargo airports. You need to depend less on the Apapa ports. You need to decongest the Apapa ports. The Apapa ports. Did you hear of Eto or Eto, which was a tech call-up system that worked with smartphones that was supposed to organize how trucks come in and out of the ports. Human error or the human factor. It scattered it, didn't work, So we still have a very disorganized port that's still very congested. We still have people who are still collecting money there. Okay, November has already passed. We passed nobody even said anything. November was the 4th anniversary of Professor Yemi Osibanjo flying his helicopter over Apapa, saying that he was going to
this story.
Put together. Yeah, it's the best story.
You love
in the
talking
world,
about. You love talking about it.
Every year, every November, you have to bring it up. November 2017, I believe, was when he flew over Apapa, saying that he's going to put together a task force and a committee
to decongest that place.
That's going to decongest it.
But there are too many personal interests, though. And speaking of personal interests, here's a message that speaks in that regard. He says, "Good morning. This is from Benga Akamu." He says, "Good morning. I hope we don't see the day we will import. I hope we don't see the day we will import a goosey soup from China, because many things we can make here we import. By the way, they're already canning Nigerian foods." That's from Benga Akamu. He further says, "Even when we export, do you know how many Nigerians puts in the way of those interested in exporting? This will automatically remove the clogs in the Nigerian system." And he further says, "We're not really serious." Okay, thank you so much, Benga. I appreciate that one.
Yeah, Benga, good point from Benga. If we're serious, we'll move forward with these things. So look, 90% of Nigerian goods move by road, right? You can't, that causes accidents. You keep hearing about trailers falling on cars, people passing away, and all these accidents and so on. The roads take such a pounding because of so many vehicles that travel on them. You should be moving more goods by rail. If you're moving more goods by rail, you will have extra options with respect to how you want to transport goods and services. It costs, the cost of moving an item from the Apapa port to other parts of Lagos is it costs almost as much as the cost of shipping an item from China over to Nigeria. So
that's why most people take that other option, importing from China as opposed to doing it from Nigeria. But generally, you mentioned that we need to have cargo planes. I don't know if we have a lot of cargo airports here, but cargo planes and also rail. And the federal government took loans to build some trains, right? So what else can be done in the interim, like in a short? Are there quick fixes to try to solve this problem? Because it's a long-term problem.
You can clear bottlenecks in the short term. So you can attend to the human error or the human factor. For example, at the Apapa ports, the corruption that's going on there, that needs to be addressed immediately. Once you clear up the ports and you have more a seamless movement of goods and services at the ports, then you can get more items out there. Now, we're still not manufacturing goods, though. I mean, we're not manufacturing enough. Most of what we export is oil, unfortunately, and there may be sesame seeds and some other agricultural products. But look, Ivory Coast and Ghana are the biggest exporters of cocoa. Yet the chocolate industry, the chocolates from which you make the cocoa from, is a billion-dollar industry in Europe and America. Every time somebody travels overseas,
people buy it.
Think about this. They come back with chocolates. We always expect them to bring chocolates. It's a tradition, right? When somebody travels, they always come. Those chocolates majority of them come from Africa. So, I mean, we make cocoa as well. Now, we're not where Ivory Coast and Ghana are, but even Ivory Coast, even Ghana, they have to export finished goods, not just raw materials and raw commodities. But in order for you to export finished goods, you've got to have the infrastructure in place to do that. You've got to have, I keep thinking of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and that's a big, establishment he had, which was, yeah. So we need Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in Africa in order to be able to create.
But how hard can it be? If the government can't set that up, can't individuals set it up? Because I mean, we talk about this all the time. So if a regular individual, much like yourself, sees the potential in setting up things like a chocolate factory, how hard can it be? If the government's not going to do it, why can't an individual do it?
Because you need power. You need power to set up a factory and for it to continue to move seamlessly. Set up a factory. You don't have to go and get your own power source. You probably have to get generators. You have to, anytime your truck's moving and out, touts that see your trucks. I remember there was a story of a truck that was delivering water to a community, and the touts stopped them and charged them money to come into the community to give them water that they would require. So there's all these little things where the land, the people that are trying to extort you, there's all these things that fight against private individuals setting up businesses here and being able to operate seamlessly. So those are the kind of quick wins that you can address. You reduce poverty, you have less touts on the road who are trying to extort trucks that are benefiting their communities. So there's a lot that needs to be analyzed. Has any improvement been made if we look at this past year or the past 2 years? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Well, we've been borrowing and we've been trying to build with those.
The borrowing is to pay salaries. All that money goes to go and pay salaries. So unfortunately, you're not really seeing much of what that money is doing to aid the community. But Kayode, we remain hopeful. I hope in December of 2022, you and I are not talking about the same thing, but unfortunately, we might be, and that's just where we are.
Well, the federal government, from one of the stories this morning, say they have 17 months to turn things around in certain aspects of the economy. So, do you see that happening?
No, they had 6 years. They didn't turn it around. Wow, they turned it around in 17 months. So I hope everyone votes. So I really hope people, I say this every 4 years, but I hope everybody has their PVCs and they pay attention in 2023 because there's a lot of work ahead.
Thanks so much, Rotus. Real quick, let's just take this message and then wrap up this side of the show. This one here from Gilbert. Gilbert says, "Good morning, Rotus and Kayode. I'm Gilbert Musa from Festac. We need to improve or upscale security in Jos before thinking of exporting strawberries. Professor Sibajo's trip in 2017 to the ports was ineffective. It shows we speak too much in Nigeria with little action or the will to implement policies." And Ogenel Chuko says, "The deficit will not change except we focus on a particular policy that will enhance human capital, e.g. functional education. Japan doesn't have mineral resources. In terms of GDP, they're the third economy in the world. People want to export made in Nigeria, but the issue is the roads and touts and port operations are like a big issue, basically." That's all we can take. Bring back, and we'll see all your other messages as well, but we're totally out of time. Once again, thank you so much, Rotus. It's always a pleasure having you here.
Thank you. And everybody, ARM Stock Trade, the ARM app, you can trade stocks on there. We should talk stocks for the new year in another episode of the show. So we'll gear up for that. Thank you so much, Kayode, and thanks for everybody who sent their messages.
All right, Lagos, there's more to come, so please stay with us. In a few more minutes, it's going to be time for Freshly Pressed 91. That's at 7:30. Olakunmi and I are going to take you through conversations, leading through detailed analysis in the story, well, in the dailies, basically. And then comes Lagos Talks 981. So please stay with us.
Express and Smooth 8.1.